At narito naman ng mainit na balita mula sa mundo ng politika. Isang kontrobersyal na balita ang umabot sa ating mga telebisyon. Si President Kuting ng Norte Jr. ay inaresto ng mga otoridad matapos lumabas sa publiko ang mga ebidensyang magpapatunay ng kanyang di umano'y pagkakasangkot sa katiwalian. Ang mga dokumento at testimonya na ito ay nagdulot ng isang malalim na kontrobersya sa buong bansa. Tinututukan ng buong bansa ang mga pangyayaring ito matapos kumalat ang mga ebidensyang nagsasabing si President Marcos ay may kaugnayan sa ilang mga iligal na transaksyon. Isang press conference ang isinagawa kanina ng mga otoridad upang ipahayag ang pagkakaaresto ng Pangulo. Ayon sa mga sources mula sa National Bureau of Investigation o NBI, ang mga ebidensyang nakuha ay nagsasangkot sa mga malalaking isyu ng katiwalian na umano'y naganap sa ilalim ng administrasyon ni Marcos. Ilan sa mga pangunahing ebidensya na inilabas ng mga otoridad ay ang mga bank records, kontrata at komunikasyon mula sa mga kumpanya na nakinabang sa ilang proyekto ng gobyerno. Isinasangkot din si PBBM sa mga umano'y kickback schemes kung saan nagkaroon ng hindi tamang pag-agos ng pondo mula sa mga proyekto ng gobyerno patungo sa mga pribadong kumpanya na may koneksyon sa pamilya Marcos. Isa sa mga tinutukoy na dokumento ay isang malalim na kasunduan na naglalaman ng mga hindi legal na transaksyon ng mga infrastruktura projects ng gobyerno. Kasunod ng pagkakaaresto ng Pangulo, nagsagawa ng mga malalaking protesta sa iba't ibang bahagi ng bansa. Ang mga mamamayan ay nagpakita ng kanilang galit at pagkadismaya sa di umano'y patuloy na katiwalian sa loob ng pamahalaan. Ayon sa mga lider ng oposisyon, ito na raw ang panahon na kailangan ng managot ang mga nasa posisyon ng kapangyarihan, anuman ang kanilang mga pangalan o katungkulan. Sa kabilang banda, may mga taga-suporta pa rin si Pangulong Marcos na naniniwala sa kanyang integridad. Ayon sa ilang eksperto sa politika, posibleng may mga hakbang na ginawa upang sirain ang kredibilidad ng administrasyon. Binanggit din nila na may ilang aspeto ng mga ebidensya na kailangang masusing imbestigahan bago maglabas ng mga final na pahayag. Ipinahayag ng mga abogado ni PBBM na ang mga ebidensya ay fabricated at may motibo umanong patagilid ang mga akusasyon laban sa Pangulo. Samantala, ang Malacanang ay patuloy na nanatiling tahimik ukol sa insidente. Inaasahan namang maglalabas ng formal na pahayag ang mga opisyal ng gobyerno sa mga susunod na oras. Ayon sa ilang mga analyst, ang kasalukuyang sitwasyon ay magdudulot ng malalaking pagbabago sa political landscape ng bansa. Kaya tinututukan nito ng mga eksperto sa larangan ng batas at politika. Isang masalimuot na kabanata ang muling binuksan sa kasaysayan ng ating bansa. Ang mga susunod na araw ay magiging kritikal sa pag-usad ng kaso laban kay President Marcos. At heto nga mga balitang ating pagkakatutukan. At kung bago ka pa lamang sa aking channel ay huwag kakalimutang mag-like, share and subscribe para updated ka sa aking mga bagong balita dito sa Tatak Pinas.
Isang malaking baldita ang yumanig sa bansa matapos arestuhin si Pangulong Kuting Jr. Inalabas ng Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency o PDEA ang mga ebidensyang nag-uugnay sa Pangulo sa malawak ng katiwalian na may kaugnayan sa iligal na droga na ikinagulat naman ng buong sambayanan. Ayon sa PDEA, matagal na nilang minamanbanan ang mga aktibidad na may kinalaman sa iligal na droga sa mataas na antas ng pamahalaan. Sinabi ni PDEA Director General na ang mga nakalap na ebidensya laban kay Pangulong Kuting ay matibay at sapat upang mapatunayan ang mga pagkakasangkot nito sa iligal na gawain. Kasunod ng kanilang imbestigasyon, isinapubliko ang mga dokumento at testimonya na nagbigay linaw sa papel ng Pangulo sa di umano'y katiwalian. Nagdulot ng iba't ibang reaksyon ang pagkakaaresto kay Kuting Jr. Habang may mga sumusuporta sa aksyon ng PDEA, marami ring Pilipino ang nananawagan ng masusing imbestigasyon upang masiguro ang patas na proseso. Ang kaganapang ito ay nagbigay ng malaking dagok sa imahe ng pamahalaan at ang sambayanan ay umaasang mananaig ang hustisya at katotohanan sa kasong ito. At yan nga ang balitang ating pagkakatutukan. Ngunit bago ang lahat, siguraduhin mag-subscribe at i-hit ang notification bell para sa patuloy na pagtutok sa mga silap ng bagong balita sa tunay na boses ng masa.
Very patiently reminding you time and again to please submit the requested documents.
Yes, Madam Chair. We
Attorney
confirm.
Alex, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We confirm receipt of the subpoena duces tecum last night at around 7:30 p.m. And we filed our compliance this morning, Your Honor. And in our compliance, it
Are you
requires...
telling us that we're in fact already in receipt of the documents requested by Minority Leader Pimentel?
Some of the documents are there, Your Honor, and it requires an explanation. And Mr. Oñate would explain as to the submission of the names of the contributors. He indeed sought the consent of his contributors, but unfortunately, they refused to allow him to divulge his names. And that's why Mr. Oñate was unable to continue, because what actually happened was he was forced to return their contributions. And we attach in our compliance the withdrawal slips showing that Mr. Oñate withdrew some substantial amounts and returned the contributions of some of his friends, Your Honor. That's what happened.
Ang sinasabi mo, palibhasa hindi kayo makapag-produce ng mga donor, withdraw na lamang yung pera at sinoli na lang ng solo ni Mr.
Turn
Oñate.
their
Ganyan po ba yung
contributions,
nangyari?
Madam Senator.
Madam Chair.
Parang nalalabuan po ako. Ano ba nangyari? Paliwanag po natin si Senator Binay, mukhang nalilito rin po.
Hindi, Madam Chair, siguro magandang tanongin yung BIR. Sa ganitong transaction, wala pa ba yung BIR? Okay. Madam Chair.
Yes po, I think there's a question muna. Mr. Oñate, tama po ba yung pagkaintindi namin na palibasa wala yung mga donor o hindi kayo pinayagan na ibigay yung pangalan nila, sinagot na lang ninyo. So withdraw ninyo yung kalahati ng 55 at kayo na rin ang sumagot nun. Tama ka po ba?
Yes, that's what I did.
Kasi nahihilo po ako sa billing statement, hindi po tugma dun sa sinabi ninyo. Ang sabi po ninyo, ang halaga ng TV ad ay nasa 55 million. Ang unang pagkaintindi namin, 27.5 million.
I think I withdrew a little bit more than that. Yeah.
Okay. Pero, ang nalilito ako po rito, dahil yung billing statement ng Ghana ay nasa 211 million 935 million. Tama ba to? 786. Ba't lumobo to? Yung 55 million na dapat 27.5 million lamang, ngayon lumaki pa sa 211 million at higit. Yes
Madam
po.
Chair, that's a very sharp observation. But let me explain. The quotation there, the 211 million plus, was a quotation for an 8-week TV ad campaign. And what Mr. Oñate paid, that 55 million represents payment for only 2 weeks, Madam Chair. You know, unang na-raise na amount, 55 million. That was good for 2 weeks. But unfortunately, it aired only for a few days. Thank you, Madam Chair.
This looks like a bill. Parang bayad na to eh.
No, Madam Chair, hindi pa po yan bayad. That is a quotation. That is a quotation sent by invoice, Madam Chair. In fact,
Meron ba kayong official receipt, voucher, resibo na tumutugma dun sa 55 milyones?
Madam Chair, we already requested Mr. Greg Garcia, our advertising guy, the creative firm, to submit so that we can comply an official receipt or a sales invoice as to the 55 million. We will submit that as soon as possible, Madam Chair.
Madam
Yes,
Chair.
maybe urge Mr. Greg Garcia, who's a
Siguro
friend
just to
to
share,
many of
Madam
us,
Chair.
to come and also attend or make a deposition so that we can get clarity on this matter. Yes,
Siguro,
Senator Binay,
just to
please.
share, Madam Chair, lahat naman tayo, nung tumatakbo tayo, alam natin yung proseso kung paano mag-book ng ad sa mga TV station. So, nagtataka lang ako na it's been almost a month. Kayo yung client, wala kayong kopya ng OR, ng placements nyo. So, nakakaduda na bakit na kay Mr. Garcia yung copy. Yun lang po, Madam Chair.
Tama, hindi naman niya tataguin yun eh. Binayaran siya. Ba't siya magtatago ng resibo?
Yes,
Dapat
Madam
yung
Chair.
nagbayad ng may resibo, di ba?
Hindi niya po itatago. We already spoke with Mr. Garcia and he told us that he will submit the invoice for the 55 million. That represents only for the 2 weeks TV ad campaign.
For the information of the members, we actually invited Greg Garcia through Pirma to attend and help us clarify the situation. And the floor goes back to Senator Risa, who actually had questions pending. Sorry.
It's all right, thank you, Madam Chair. Itanong ko lang kay Mr. Oñate kasi sabi nila, nag-withdraw kayo ng higit 27.5 million pesos para i-reimburse yung mga ibang donors nyo na ayaw nyong pangalanan sa komite. A little more than 27.5 million pesos. Magkano exactly ang winidraw nyo?
I think I withdrew 28 million
Kailan nyo po winidraw yung 28 million?
last week.
Anong araw po last week? At saang bangko po ninyo i-withdraw yung 28 million?
I think the withdrawal slips have been submitted to the committee, Your
So
Honor.
since sinabit nyo po sa komite, can you tell the committee verbally this time, anong withdrawal slip ang sinabit nyo ng aling bangko on which day last week for the amount of 28 million pesos?
Galing po yun sa tatlong account ko sa February 8 po. I withdrew the money from my personal bank accounts from 3 banks,
February 8, from which
BDO,
banks po?
BPI, and Union Bank.
And yung tatlong withdrawal slips po ay nagtutotal na 28 million pesos.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can we ask the COMSEC, Madam Chair, to confirm that those were the 3 withdrawal slips from BDO, BPI, and Union Bank?
Union Bank, yeah.
Yes, totaling 28
Attorney
million
Alberto,
pesos on February 8.
Yes, we are providing the members with copies. Yes, Attorney Alberto, please.
Annex A, 6 million from BPI. Annex C, cash 3 million also from BPI. Annex D, 9 million from BDO.
So, 6 million, 3 million, and 9 million, totaling 18 million.
May Union Bank pa, di ba?
At may Union Bank.
Oo. Yung Union Bank, Annex B, 10 million. Yes, Secretary, please.
Annex B, 10 million from Union Bank.
So now totaling 28 million, Madam Chair. So the arithmetic tallies correctly, pero kulang pa rin yung impormasyon na hiningi ng komite 2 weeks ago to know who these donors were. And I think that's an important issue that remains unresolved, Madam Chair, and must be answered by the resource person before this investigation is concluded. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Oñate wanted
Yeah,
to...
for additional information of the committee, our contributors were also invoking their right to privacy.
Madam Chair, ang sa akin
Yes.
lang, Mr. Oñate, nung pumasok sila sa ganitong advocacy, hindi pa dapat ready na sila and proud to say na ipinaglalaban nila itong charter change, itong People's Initiative. So parang nakakagulat na all of a sudden, parang hindi na sila naniniwala dun sa advocacy na pinondohan nila. Parang gano'n na ho yung dumadating. So, kumbaga parang nabawasan na yung supporter nyo pagdating dito sa People's Initiative.
Naniniwala po sila pero concerned po sila sa kanilang privacy at security.
Madam Chair, bakit po sila concerned sa kanilang security? Ano bang banta sa security nila?
Because I think right now there is a little bit of a controversy. There are anti People's Initiative. There are pro People's Initiative. They just didn't want to get into this fray, so they decided that they didn't want their names revealed.
Okay, yes, Mr. Oñate, pero parang nalilito ako dahil biglang nag-atrasan nung hiningi na yung resibo. At naman nagkaganon. Hindi naman kami interesado sa kanilang kinikita, hindi naman kami nakikialam sa negosyo nila. Aalamin lang natin kung sino yung mga donor. Bagay na kailangan ipagmalaki, hindi naman ikahihiya. So, you are saying therefore, since they all opted out, kayo na lang ang sumagot. Tama po ba yun? Kasi nakakalito to dahil strictly speaking, you cannot really invoke the right of other people. No? Dapat sila mag-invoke ng security and privacy concerns nila. Pero palibasa, hindi nga sila nagpapakita, wala tayong pangalan, hindi natin makumpleto yung diskusyon.
Yes, because I think they know that they will be required to pay the BIR and all that, because some of the people,
But
some of these contributors, they have actually contributed also to other.
yes, you were saying that they've actually been contributing to other political efforts. Sanay na sila sa politika.
And they
bakit
were
biglaan sila
never
natatakot?
required to go to the BIR to pay donors tax.
Tagal na po yung donors tax. Laki-laki nga dati, 20%. Liniitan na nga namin sa 10. Kaya nagtataka ako, bakit
Madam Chair, if I may, please don't worry, this does not end here. We are still continuously, Mr. Oñate is still continuously trying to talk to these people, but unfortunately, the time is limited. But mahaba pa naman yung panahon, and please allow Mr. Oñate more time to speak with these people, and maybe later on, they will have enough courage to mention their names and perhaps even appear in the investigation. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, but in the meantime, Mr. Oñate has paid for their share. So binuuna ninyo yung 55 million, sinagot na lang ninyo in the meantime. So, eto nga, hinihingi rin natin, narito na yung BIR, si Attorney Tibaya ng BIR, na hinihingan ni Senator Binay at ng chair nung proof of payment ng donor's tax at iba pang dokumento na kinakailangan sa kada donasyon.
Madam Chair, siguro maganda din malaman sa kay Attorney Tibayan, ano ba yung proseso dun sa pagbabayad ng donor's tax? For example, itong transaction na to nangyari January ba to? Or January, no? Yung placement ng ad? Or December? Kailan ba dapat nagbabayad ng donor's tax? Within a month after or 3 months after? And how much do they need to pay?
Good morning po, Madam Chair. So pag donor's tax po, 30 days po yan. Tapos 6% po. Unfortunately, Madam Chair, yung sa request niyo po kasi, the donor's tax, it's tax on the donation due on the donor. So sa system po namin, we try to extract the information na hinihingi po. Unfortunately, ma'am, pag hindi namin alam yung donor, hindi rin po namin mahanap yung info. Kasi opo.
Question. Katulad
Hindi ba
nito-
kailangan rin ninyo ng resibo o invoice or ipapakita na nag-donate?
May donor's tax return lang po kasi voluntary payment po tayo. So pag final po yun with the amount.
Yun na nga, kasi hindi pa rin nagpapakita ng resibong maayos eh.
Hindi, tsaka, Madam Chair, kasi di ba nangyari nga, kailan ho na-collecta itong 27 million, Mr. Oñate? Kailan ho sila nag-donate?
These were contributions by our supporters.
Kailan po? Kailan ho kayo nakatanggap ng actual cash from them?
The past 3 weeks before we launched the People's Initiative Movement.
Anong month? Or baka si Attorney Abisado ka na?
Ma'am, we launched the TV ad January 2. So we presume it was January. We started it January 2. So it was first week of January, so 3 weeks prior to first week
So
of January.
technically, anong treatment ng BIR ngayon? Supposed to be January nag-donate. So dapat February magbabayad na sila,
30
di
days
ba?
po, yes.
30 days after. Pero ngayon kasi parang pinabawi na. So, si Mr. Oñate na lang yung kailangan magbayad ng donor's tax.
When you see binawi po, parang...
Oo, kasi nalilito ako dito. Kasi kung isang buwan, lampas na ng 30 days yung February 8, hindi po ba? Kasi December pa yun nilunsad. So, kung December pa yun, February 8 inatras, lampas na po tayo ng isang buwan. So, labag na tayo dun sa 30-day deadline. Kahit binayaran pa ng iba at withdraw.
Madam
30
Chair.
days po. Yung
Yes po.
So, Mr. Oñate, handa po ba kayong bayaran yung donor's tax ng buong 55 million pesos na yan?
Well, you know, I just want the committee to know that I have been a political operator for the past 30 plus years.
Mr.
And,
Oñate,
yeah,
wag na
yeah,
po
yeah.
natin
I will come to that. I
talakayin
will come to
yung
that. Let
30
me explain.
years.
Let me
No,
explain.
Mr. Oñate, do
So-
not please
so
argue
what-
with the members of the committee. Ang tinatanong ko lang po, kasi sabi kanina ni Attorney Abisado, no, you are requesting for more time. Actually po, nabigyan na po kayo ng 2 linggo kalahating buwan nitong komite para humingi ng simpleng mga impormasyon. Ngayon, we are giving you the benefit of the doubt na totoong sinasabi ninyo na ibinayad nyo na lang yung kalahati ng 55 million pesos. Gusto ko pang
That is
sundin,
correct.
excuse me Mr. Oñate, gusto kong sundin, Madam Chair, yung line of questioning ni Senator Nancy. So kung yung tax due 1 month later ay ngayon sinasalo nyo na lahat, handa po ba kayong bayaran yung buong donor's tax ng 55 million pesos at the rate of 6%?
Madam Chair, if I may, that is a legal question and
No,
with
Madam
a-
Chair. And I was asking Mr. Oñate, not the good attorney.
Yeah,
It is
ma'am.
not a legal question po. It is a matter of fact. Facts po yung tinatanong ng komite
Your-
Iniiba-iba nyo yung mga sequence of events or yung events na nag-transpire. We are giving you the benefit of the doubt. Tinatanong ko lang po, a non-legal question, kung handa si Mr. Oñate, bayaran ang 6% donor's tax sa 55 million pesos dun sa ad na iyan, Madam
Yes, ma'am.
Chair.
Yes, ma'am. If before he can answer, may we ask also, with all due respect to the BIR official, if the contribution was returned, is there still a taxable transaction? If there is, then Mr. Oñate will pay for it. But if there's none, baka wala na rin po. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Actually, question lang ha. Kasi di ba on record, it's your law office who's the client of the network. Tama po ba? Kasi kayo yung nag-place ng ad
Yes, ma'am. We
So
place the ad.
technically, the burden to pay BIR is also with your law office. Tama ba BIR?
It depends po kung anong tax ang babayaran.
Since donation po siya, donor, dapat
Eh,
si donor po yung nagbayad po ng
Actually, magulo nga yung transaction Kasi parang nakakuha ng pera si Mr. Oñate, binigay niya sa law office.
Hindi, binigay daw in cash. If I'm correct, kaya ako nalilito sa narration of events, Senator Binay, nung una tayo nagtagpo, ang sabi sa hearing, dinala yung 55 million ni Mr. Oñate kay Greg Garcia. Diretso. Wala pang abogado nun. Kaya lang hindi mabuo ng pirma at ni Mr. Oñate yung documentary requirements. Kaya ang Ghana Law Office ang siyang nagpirma at nagbigay ng documentary requirements. Tama po ba yun? That's according to the transcript, Attorney Abisado.
Madam Chair.
I would assume yung OR ng network nakapangalan po sa law office.
Yes, Madam Chair. What happened was we engaged the services of Mr. Greg Garcia. He is an advertising guru. If you want to sell a product, we have a campaign. We engaged him. And then, so siya, kami yung client ni Mr.
Pero
Garcia.
Attorney Abisado, pinag-uusapan lang natin yung dokumento. You submit it to the committee, a billing statement. Kayo yung client
Yes po.
Wala naman nakasulat na Greg Garcia dito. And
Yes
I
po.
would assume you signed the contract with the network. Tama po ba?
Yes po.
And then, di sa inyo nga yung OR. So,
Yes, ma'am. Ang sinasabi lang ho namin, when we received the billing, we forwarded it to Mr. Oñate, and it was Mr. Oñate who paid it in cash. As he testified during the last hearing, he paid it in cash to Mr. Greg Garcia. And I'm sure Mr. Greg Garcia will also confirm that, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Yes, babalikan ko lang yung BIR. Dahil kasi, yung date ng billing statement, December 29. So yung 30 days, dapat katapusan ng January, hindi po ba? Kung ganon, yung pag-atras ng mga donor nung February 8, huli na. Due yung donor stocks as early as February, hindi po, as early as January, di ba?
Depende po actually sa intention Kasi po ang pwede rin pong possible na nangyari is nag-donate and then pag return po ang term kasi pag ni-return, way after, parang lumalabas nag-donate back. So pwede rin pong
Kahit lampas
pag
na yung
inaccept na po kasi
kahit
ng una.
lampas na yung 30-day period.
Opo. Inaccept po ba yung donation initially? may
Inaccept,
acceptance
binayad
po.
na sa iba eh.
So,
Binayad na nga sa TV eh.
yes po, so may donation na po yun.
Nag-hearing na nga sila eh.
Yes, opo. So,
Ang BIR lang ang hindi sinabihan.
opo, nag-donation na po. Meron na pong, perfected na yung contract. At may bayaran na po yung donor's tax doon within 30 days. Ngayon, yung intention na ibalik, parang lumalabas, they donated it back.
That's right.
So,
So
parang
ano nangyari?
may donor's tax po ulit
Dalawang
yun.
donation. Ikalawang donor's tax na to.
Opo, kasi in-accept po nila eh. Tapos,
6% tapos may ikalawang 6% may penalties pa kasi late payment.
yes po.
Tanggap po ba ninyo yun?
We disagree po, but we respect the opinion of the good official from the BIR. If there are, like what we said, if there are taxable consequences, I'm sure Mr. Oñate is very much willing to settle and pay for it. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes,
Gusto ko lang po tanungin yung taga-COMELEC. Kasi di ba tayo, as a candidate, we file SOSE. Pagdating mo ba dun sa People's Initiative, merong ganitong requirement na kailangan isubmit ng mga proponents
Wala
ng
pa eh.
People's
Wala
Initiative?
po,
Wala pang rules
Madam
eh.
Chair, and that's the reason why we are reviewing the IRR, if that is the case. Maaaring maisama rin po na provision po yan.
I highly recommend Chairman Garcia na siguro dapat in the interest of transparency, 'di ba? Na meron din ganitong requirement pagdating sa People's Initiative.
Yes, Madam Chair. In fact, but the first issue that we will have to resolve is whether the IRR is valid or not. Because if there is really no enabling law, then there is no IRR, so to speak. So that we will have to come to other issues
Naku.
after the first issue.
Nako, Chair Garcia, narinig naman natin lahat ng legal luminaries po ulit-ulit sinasabi, inadequate yung batas, mas lalo pa yung COMELEC resolution.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Chairman Garcia lang po.
Madam Chair, that will be one of the issues to be resolved by our panel created for the purpose of reviewing the supposedly IRR for Republic Act 6735.
Yes, I think Santiago very clearly prevails. Its dispositive portion is the rule and not the obiter. Hence, we should really go back to the legislature and produce a more comprehensive law, including the concerns of Senator Binay and Senator Ontiveros. Yes, Senator Risa, please.
Gyamanak, Madam Chair, I'd like to follow up on the line of questioning opened by the Chair at pati po yung pagbanggit ni Chair Garcia nung mga rules na yan, yung panel na iyan, and related, actually, larger issues. Chair Garcia, we've talked about the case of Santiago versus COMELEC at length, in which the court ruled that RA 6735 was inadequate as an enabling law for People's Initiative. That same year, 1997 also, the court issued a resolution in the case of Pirma versus COMELEC. That case arose because Pirma filed a petition for People's Initiative. But COMELEC, following the clear ruling in Santiago, dismissed the petition of Pirma. Ibig sabihin po, naintindihan at tinatanggap ng COMELEC ang kahulugan ng Santiago ruling. The case of Lambino naman po in 2006 arose because COMELEC, again, denied the petition for People's Initiative, quote, for lack of an enabling law governing initiative petitions to amend the Constitution, close quote. And the COMELEC itself cited Santiago. Clearly, in the past, COMELEC had an institutional history of respecting the Supreme Court and upholding the Santiago ruling. Narinig natin mismo, gaya ng nabanggit ni Chair, mismong sina Justice Carpio at Justice Ascuna, iba man ang opinyon nila sa sufficiency ng 6735, wala pong question. Walang question sa mismong desisyon ng Korte Suprema. Walang enabling law at dahil dito, walang jurisdiction. Sinabi na mismo ng COMELEC noon, walang jurisdiction ang COMELEC sa PI. Pero, noong 2020, biglang nag-issue ang COMELEC ng sarili niyang rules, yung rules na binanggit po ng chair. So I am curious, Madam Chair, about what happened in 2020. Would you know, Chair Garcia, what prompted that turnaround in COMELEC's interpretation of Santiago and the issuance of Resolution number 10650?
Madam Chair, with all due respect, wala rin pong alam ang inyong lingkod kung ano nangyari noong 2020. But before the PIRMA petition, before the Santiago versus COMELEC case, there was this COMELEC resolution number 2300. Yung po yung implementing rules and regulation in relation to 6735. But however, hindi po yun na-resolve ng ating kagalang-galang na Korte Suprema. Here comes now COMELEC Resolution 7796. After po iyon ng Santiago case. And then, after po ng COMELEC Resolution 7796, nagkaroon nga po ng COMELEC Resolution 10650, which was actually the resolution that we, in the meantime, suspended the implementation of. Doon po sa dalawang cases na yun po, Madam Chair, Your Honors, yung sa unang kaso ng Santiago versus COMELEC, there was a petition filed. But which petition, according to the Supreme Court, should be dismissed simply because there is no enabling law, Republic Act 6735.
That's correct, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, with all due respect, wag na natin pagpilitan na ayos yung batas at ayos yung resolution ng COMELEC. Pagkat ang liwa-liwanag, yung Santiago pa rin ang prevailing, ba't ayaw natin sumunod doon? Ganun lang kasimple yon. In no way does Lambino amend or repeal ang nangyari doon sa Santiago. Bakit pinagpipilitan na COMELEC na meron kayong karapatan at kapangyarihan magsariling sikap at gumawa ng batas? Hindi naman po pwede yun. You have the breadth and majesty of a constitutional commission's rule-making power, but you do not have legislative power.
We fully agree, Madam Chair, and that's the reason why we suspended the implementation of 10650 because of the issue as to whether 10650 is really or was issued in 2020 in accordance with our rulemaking power, in accordance with an enabling law, which
So,
apparently...
as we speak today, Mr. Chairman, yung resolution 10650, susundan ba ninyo o wala na yan?
Well, in the meantime, Your Honor, it's subject to the review of our panel because of the issues that was or issues that were raised in these proceedings, Madam Chair. And one of the issues really was whether or not there was an enabling law, and it's very clear during the previous hearings, Madam Chair.
Kaya nga,
Madam Chair.
so dapat, wag na natin pangunahan yung totoong lawmaking body. Dapat ang Congress ang maglabas ng batas kung saan yung patakaran na nagsasaayos nung tamang proseso ng PI ay nakatakda. Wag naman pangunahan na kagad ng COMELEC dahil hindi nga sapat yung batas. Paulit-ulit na sinabi sa atin yon. Yes, Senator Risa, please.
Salamat, Madam Chair. At kahit po kasi yung pag-issue ng Resolution 10650, Chair Garcia, reflection po yon na nagbago ang tingin ng COMELEC dun sa mga sinabi ng or inisyu ng mga desisyon ng Korte Suprema. Kanina, Madam Chair, sinabi ng Chair Garcia na wala silang alam dun sa turnaround ng interpretasyon ng COMELEC sa Santiago. Wala silang alam dun sa pag-issue ng 10650. Bakit po wala kayong alam dun sa turnaround na yon, Chair?
Madam Chair, dahil yung inyong lingkod po was not yet at the Commission in 2020.
Kung ganun po, what about mga signatories sa COMELEC Resolution 10650, Commissioners Marlon S. Casquejo at Socorro B. Inting? Pwede ko po ba silang tanungin, Madam Chair, what prompted that turnaround from the institutional memory and position of the COMELEC?
Madam Chair, Commissioner Marlon Casquejo and Commissioner Socorro Inting po, they are not around.